It's the 1st of May, 2021. The apiary is abuzz. It's a warm day. It's about 18 degrees C, high today, 2021. So this is a good day for some deep dives out here. What I want to accomplish here today is there's a few of my strong ones, this being one of them. You can kind of see the strong ones. I've got some weak ones on top. So we want to take a look at those, maybe make a plan, see what we can do, if anything. They might be lost causes, we don't know. We'll find out. But also, I'm going to consider adding a second to some of these if they warrant. They're getting pretty strong, and we don't want them to start thinking about swarms. I think what I'm going to do, if I need to add seconds, is I've got some dead out frames here, and I think I'll add those boxes, those frames, for seconds on these, just because there's a little bit of feed in there. They're brood frames that are sitting here. I don't want them sitting out long. We don't have a wax moth problem yet, but we will. So anyway, and also I'll put that on the bottom. We still have some cool nights coming up next week, so I don't want too much space on the top, and I think the space on the bottom will do them just as much good if they want it. If they don't, they stay up top, stay warm. And then when it's warm and they want that space, they can come down and use it. So that's kind of today. And today is, if I have the energy, it's going to be just a bit of fun to look into bees. It'll be really the first day I do any amount of deep diving into these, because we haven't had warm enough weather to do that so far. So let's go get into bees and we'll have some fun. Okay, so this is one of my stronger hives. Yeah, so it looks kind of weird, eh? You got a feed jar, but the feed plug is in. I came around the other day and I added the feed plugs to all the colonies because it was cold and windy and the pails were blowing away. So I did the jars as well. It's just gobs of pollen coming into these. Look at this. So they're pretty content here. They've got a patty that's mostly consumed. Smoke my legs. First day with the shorts. So I'm just going to get an idea where this colony is at and see if I need to add a second. At least see if they'll tolerate me adding a second. I know they'll use it. I know they'll appreciate it at some point. Today's a warm day, so will today be okay to add that second? This is a heavy feed frame. I don't need to find the queen. There's all capped feed, probably from last fall, and then some open feed here, which is likely from recent consumption of the jar or the pail. Lots of pollen pants walking around. So this is also a feed frame. I don't see eggs or larvae in any of those open cells. There's not very many open cells, but there's a few there. Now we get to see the story frame. Let's see. Tell me a story. Everything's so gummy in the spring. This is laid up with worker brood. The drone cells, there's a few capped drone cells, but the open drone cells are not laid. I find that interesting. There's larvae in the worker cells. So why would she lay drones earlier and then give up on it? Is what I'm wondering. Was it kind of the onset of some cold weather after a warm spell? They had some optimism, some momentum, and then they backed off? Is that what happened? This one's pretty populous. I don't know that they need a second, but again, I wonder if they'll tolerate a second. Go away. You're crawling on me. Nice brood frame. Okay, now they're stinging my legs. Ouch. I don't often get stung in the legs. I don't know what I'm doing different today. The guard bees work at the entrance. And they're the cranky ones. So the entrance is right here by my leg. Get some smoke on my leg. Make it so it doesn't smell. So it doesn't smell like something they should sting. Okay, that was a nice frame of capped brood. This side, not as much. I'm also looking for queen cups, queen cells. I don't think they would be strong enough to start to swarm, but that's what I'm here for, just to watch that on the strong ones. Lots of capped brood, but really not seeing eggs and larvae, so I'm a little worried. Did I lose this good queen? This is a 2020 queen. So she's not old. There's some larvae, but pattern is kind of goofy. Pattern kind of reflects the back and forth weather patterns we've been having. Cold and then warm and cold and warm. Two more weeks on the Apiary. A nice slab of brood. I am not seeing any eggs yet. I'm seeing larvae that I would say is maybe 5 days old. Big drone walking around. This is a terrible pattern, but this is a fault of this frame. This frame is not drawn very well here, so they'll never lay that. That's maybe where that Apiary strip was, I don't remember. as they look on the surface like they could use or tolerate a second. However, if she's not laying for some reason, that will turn around pretty fast. This is a frame completely covered in pollen. And I've not seen the queen, and I've not noticed eggs. There's a lot of cells I can't see in though. Not sure what to make of this colony. Nice and strong, but no apparent, oh man, they have vigor in their stinging, I know that. Tell you, inner thigh, that's a place to get stung. Holy smokes. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. I have to see if I can at least see a queen or some eggs. The sun has come out there. Okay, there's very tiny larvae, I think. So hard to see. No, it isn't. See, there's emerged cells here where I would have expected to see her lay, and she hasn't. I'm not seeing any eggs. Did she lay her last? I don't know. I want to set one out. I want more space in here. This was a feed frame. I find it takes me a little while to kind of get back in the groove of my inspections after winter. Okay, pull this one. See, this one has a lot of empty space. I don't see a queen here. Randy Oliver said you got 3 seconds to find a queen. After that, you're kind of blind with all the bees. Come on. this fact that she laid some, oh, there she is. She laid some drones here, and then she stopped laying drones. Kind of worries me. All right, see if we can get Her Majesty in the magic cage. And they climb up on there. Well, there's no queen there anymore, so I assume she's in the cage. Yeah, she's in there. All right. I'm gonna mark her. You know what? I'm gonna just leave that, and I'm gonna mark her now. That's a 2020, so she's blue. There's a brand new pen, so we've got to prime it. So the tip is white. That'll absorb the paint in the pen. Just have to press it down and get the paint. There you go. See? Oh, come on. Get off of there. Okay, so it's nice and, the tip is nice and moist now. Oh, man. Why do you have to do that? Well, these bees are kind of mean. Holy smokes. That hurt right in the wrist. The mean bees. There she goes. You girls go away. Give her a nice paint job. I'll set her there to dry a little bit. And I'm still curious as to what she's performing, what she's accomplishing in here. Beautiful looking queen, but she's not here for her looks. Now I can kind of inspect, not, you know, carelessly or anything, but now I know the queen is not in here. I'm facing the sun. I have to get up to look in the cells. She's not laying. I do not think she's laying. I'm gonna shake the bees off the story frame so I can see it. Okay, what I see here, I know you can't see in the cells, but so you see she laid some drones here. These are drone cells, but they're merging and she's not replacing those, so she changed her mind on that. She laid those up and then changed her mind. Here we have capped worker cells, and there's some maturing larvae here. And I do see some very, very young larvae and a very few eggs in here. So she's not giving up on the whole laying idea completely. Okay, I see quite a few eggs then on this side of the story frame. So we'll go with that. We'll just kind of keep that in our memory bank. I don't know if she needs a second. But then the next question is, while I'm here and it's a nice day, would they tolerate a second? on the bottom. My feeling is they would. They're pretty strong. That's a big feed frame right there. Try to get that in carefully. And that's a bit of a maneuver because I need to tip this off and put a box and put it back. And they might sting the crap out of me for doing that. I'm gonna slip this box under there. But one other thing I want to do is I don't want my story frame to end up in the top. So I'm going to take that out again and replace it with one of the new ones. So that'll be the only brood frame in the top, which is kind of weird. And hopefully it's warm enough for them to tolerate that. Or the bottom, I should say. It'll end up in the bottom. Okay, so this needs to be tipped off. I'll set it there. And that one's set on. And I'm most likely to get stung doing this because they really don't like this at all. Just take the whole house and move it like that. Take those two, put the story frame in. Bottom, center those up and put that back on top. You gotta put the Apiary back in. So I hope she deserves this patty. I have to put this Apiary back in. This one. Okay, and give them the patty that they had. And the new patty. Don't forget to put the queen back in. Hopefully her paint job is dry nicely. Pull that back. Go on down. There you go. Go down the hole. Okay. Now I think we'll look at that one because it's obviously a stronger one with the little hive on top of it. Let's look in here. These little colonies are kind of depressing. I'm just hoping they get enough warmth from that one below to make the difference for them. Yeah, she has a little nest going here. A little brood nest. She'll likely be on that next one, is my guess. Yeah, nice little patch cap brood in the middle there. Well, kind of right of center. She over here, there she is. I'll try to not take my eyes off her. Get my marking tool. Because you take your eyes off her, she disappears. I've had such good success with this marking tool, or this catching tool, I should say. And I don't remember what year she is. I had the lid here, but it's gone missing. Now, if I'm not wrong, this was actually a 6-frame nuke. That's right, there's no lid because this was a 6-frame nuke. This was a poly box. And, well, let's mark her. Put my glove back on ready. So we'll mark her blue. Love watching Bob Binney mark queens. He's such a pro at it. Just picks them up, paints them with his pen. Now I have to take my other glove off. So I need to push up with the plunger. Step across here so you've got the sun. All right. That you can see. Okay, push it up. Get that worker out of there. Go, go. Pinch her just as she turns lengthwise there. I have a hard time seeing it myself. There we go. I like the tip to be just a little damp so that the paint flows onto her nicely. I don't want to have to scrub and scrub and scrub to get that paint on her. She's kind of hairy, so that leads me to think she's not very old. And so that's confirmation that that's a 2020 queen. It was a 2020 nuke, so she was born midsummer likely. Okay, you know, gloves are habit with me. Working little nukes, you don't need gloves, but so we've got some syrup storage here. We got some eggs, so she's laying over on this frame as well. That's nice to see. They're using that heat resource. They've got an Apiary strip, which is maybe a little bit premature for their size. Well, so now I need to kind of set this aside and look at that one below. I'll just move it over here as a unit. Okay. All right, let's see. This is a 2020 as well. I heard Randy say something yesterday on video, which I'd noticed as well. If you can pull that lid off easily, then that colony is really bad off. If she's stuck down real good, that's a good sign. A strong colony should glue that down really well. Quick look for the queen on the lid. They're not there often, but they are there sometimes. So they're consuming their patty. Looks like I've given them 1.5 or 2. So that's pretty good consumption there. It's nice. I'm not sure that I really need to be giving them more patty because there's pollen coming in. There's nothing better for them than that natural pollen. Okay, we'll start on the outside. This one, not quite as strong, I guess. I want to see how she's laying. I want to get an idea of what the whole apiary looks like. That takes a lot of time. I can't do it in a day. These are just feed frames. There's nothing much else on these. Some nice fat drones walking around. That's a good sign. A little bit of brood here. If you're new and you haven't seen that cage, I've got a number of videos on it, and I've got one where I do a modification to it to make the door stronger. So there's drone larvae in these drone frames. There's cap drones, mature larvae in the worker cells. I don't see a lot of eggs though. I guess they pulled back recently. It's been kind of cold weather the last couple days. And eggs only last for a couple days, right? And what do they hatch? Day 3 they hatch. So if you don't see it in 2 days, you're not going to see it likely. You see eggs, you're seeing the eggs she laid today and yesterday, essentially. So if she didn't lay any eggs yesterday, there's not going to be very many left to see, since it's not even noon today. A lot of boys run around, that's good. It means they got some energy. They got resources. Spread those genes. Get some genetics out there and make the honeybee world stronger. There's some eggs, just a few eggs. Tiny, tiny larvae. Okay, that's good. So today, yesterday, day before, that sort of thing. It needs it. So queen is still in here, so I'm trying to tread fairly carefully. Oh, this is an old frame and it's a little too long. I know this frame. Come causes me problems a lot. Nice patch of brood here. Rimmed with milk brood, pollen. There's feed there. It's too long. They made it just a little too long for that box. Okay, what am I trying to know here? You gotta, you know, sometimes I get just looking at the bees and stuff and having a good time, which is okay. But I gotta have a purpose. I want to know if they should have a second. I think they're going to start to ramp up again, laying. They definitely have pulled back a little. But there's some pretty good brood going on. I'll put that back together. And I think I'll add a second to the bottom on that one too. Take that story frame out. I'm going to shake the bees off it. Oh yeah, all stages of young larvae and eggs. Very nice. Okay. So, I can go there. Put these two back in. These are basically feed frames. I'll get another frame to put in there. Right in there. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll take that off. Put this one in where the story frame was. Then, the risky deal is to take that off of there. Put that one on. Get that story frame in there. That's a judgment call, putting that story frame in the bottom. And I'm separating it from the brood nest. Ian would give me shit for that. I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to give them another patty. They've got natural pollen. Get the lid back on. Queen. I didn't see the queen, so I didn't take her out. Get this little guy back on top. So I think this little one is going to be okay. They just need some time. And after a while, maybe next warm day, I'll do a boost on this, which means newspaper queen excluder, and then put this box so that some bees can migrate up and help this one out. But that's not going to happen today. We'll move on. I don't think I need to see in these two. However, I want to look just to kind of get a cross section, get an idea of what, like these are marked 3. So that means, you know, they're good. Good, not great. So they should be just fine as they are. And this one is barely good, really. This was a 2020. And I mean, they're eating the patty. If they're not brooding, they're not going to eat that patty. So at least that's encouraging. See what's on this frame. I don't think this will be a marked queen, so if we find her, mark her. She's laying just fine. A little nest going there. Got all stages, which is good. Same thing here. I'd like to see her because I'm pretty sure she's not marked. Lots of pollen pants in here. Very nice. I'd like to get a story frame in this one. There's quite a bit of pollen in that one. It's nice to see. I'm gonna go get a story frame. So I'll push this, this nest is way over here. I'm gonna push it over more in the middle. Story frame there. A couple of these. So I didn't see that queen, so I didn't get to mark her. But I did see enough to know that they don't need a whole lot from me at this point. They've got pollen stores. There's pollen coming in. Give them a little bit of pollen patty they've got going back again. And we'll put the lid back on. And rinse and repeat. See, I lifted that off. And that's the sign of a colony that's not especially strong. Just a bunch of big feed frames. Okay, we have a brood nest here. Yes, we do. Well, we've got some cap brood that doesn't. It doesn't look great. What's this one like? What is this? So this is a 2020 as well. She's just struggling. She maybe was a weak split. There's the queen. She definitely needs a refresh on that paint job. Big black one. Just watched her climb up in there. That queen was marked green though. She's got a green mark on her. That'll mean she's a 2019. Okay, I'll need a different pen for that one. You know, those sit in my building all winter. They freeze solid for months. And they work fine. Come on. Boy, she's really active. Holy smokes. She's kind of old, but she's virile. Okay. Oh, I got a fainter. She's moving. She's just not walking around yet. There she goes. There we go. Okay. I'll let her sit for a minute. And what else do I want to know here? Nothing really. It looks like they're progressing, doing their thing. She's a 19 though. I have to change that. To change that mark. According to that old paint job, that was a green dot. So I'll change that. That says 20. It's a 19. Right upside down and backwards. 1 is easy. 9 is kind of just a 1 with a circle. Okay. A couple more quick looks and then we're going to button this up. And again, gloves are just almost more of a habit for me. I do like working without gloves. It's very nice. Keeps your hands cool. This glove has a hole in it right here. That's bee space too. Okay. Check this out. It looks like she's doing her thing. Yeah, she's got it going on. She just needs a little more time. She'll be just fine. So I'm going to slide these two, take this one out. Here. Yeah. I'm going to put this one in here. I guess I did take one too many out. Yeah, I don't get any ideas. Okay. I stuck on the clip. It hits that clip on the bottom. I put that one in last. Okay. Get the patty. I get the queen back in. Queens like to always go up, so it's kind of hard to get them to figure that they should go out of there. And then they want to walk around on the queen catcher. Okay. Get the lid. Boy, that's a heavy feed frame there. Okay. Okay, this is a 2020. And again, give it a little lift. It's not glued down that much. But the colonies actually looks like it's in pretty decent shape. That's very light. There's almost nothing in it. Well, there's some pollen in it. That's nice looking. You think, well, why don't I pull the outside one first? These nibs here is why brace comb. Okay, there's nice fat larvae in the drone cells. Eggs on that side. Kind of more of the same there. No worker brood in the middle though. There's larva, cap brood larva. It's always hard to see any eggs from this side. And this stupid plastic frame, they warp and they don't draw it out. So it's kind of, you know, I'm trying to weed these out of my operation, but it takes a long time. There's some eggs and very young larvae. There's a 2020 queen. There's not tons of bees in here, is there? The patterns are not spectacular. She's filling in the empty spots, so I mean that's what she should be doing. It's just the next round, I guess. Yeah, it's been cold for a couple days, so I'm not seeing a lot of eggs. Not a lot of egg laying going on the last couple days. It's interesting. That fresh pollen stops coming in. They just sort of take a break, take a pause. Put this back together. I don't think they need anything from me. Okay. That feed plug was full of syrup. That pail was sitting there. It was leaking into that feed plug the whole time. Yuck. Okay, this is a 2019 on this side. Put that wax in here. Well, I'm not going to complain about that. But on my rotation, 2019, this is her last year. It looks like she's doing just fine. So I'll let them do their thing until about solstice, and then I will OTS this colony. They will raise themselves a new queen during the honey flow. And I did that last year to some, and it worked out really well. Really, really well. I'm just thrilled with the results. The mating success, I think it was 100%. The honey production was up probably 25 to 30%. And I haven't done a survey as to how they wintered. Oh gosh. First time in these since last summer. They're just glued. Completely glued. You know what a J-hook hive tool, you get one of those. They're great. Okay. So the nest looks like it's over here, right? The story frame is right full of feed still. So I'll recenter that a bit. Before I leave. A little bit of pollen in there. A little bit of syrup. A little bit of fresh syrup. Yeah, a little bit of milk brood in here. Very young. Can't see anything except a dot of royal jelly. Pattern's a bit spotty, but she's filled it right in. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with them, but I will push that bird nest over here. It goes right to the wall, so we'll give them a little more space on that side. So they've got everything they need. A little bit of patty there left. We'll see what the weather holds. They might have enough natural that they don't need supplement. This one back in. That right here. Patty. Just gonna refresh that mark. This jacket, you know, I don't care for this jacket. The pockets are like for children, little tiny pockets. You got your gloves on, you want to reach something in your pocket. It's, you know, these little puny pockets that a kindergarten kid would be reaching into. It's just kind of silly. You know, they say, oh, it was, you know, designed by beekeepers, and so not the kind of beekeepers I am. Maybe little kids beekeeping, I don't know. But, well, here's something different. I had about 20 of these nucs, these poly nucs, and I lost a few of my nucs over the winter, but quite a few of them survived just fine. So what I did a couple days ago, it was cold. I was watching the forecast coming up, and we seem to be getting weather for the next week or two that will be flight weather, warm enough for the bees to fly. So I wanted to take advantage of the cold weather. The bees weren't flying for a couple days, and so I took all of my nucs and I placed them in the dead out positions in my apiary. And so that means that once these, you know, can graduate into 10 frame box, they'll already be in their position, and I won't have any issue with reorienting or bees not coming back to their hive, etc. So it worked out really nice because I actually had two extra nucs, two more nucs than I had dead spots, and so that was really kind of, you know, I couldn't have planned it any better, to be honest. So that's what these are all about. Looks like they're doing really well, eh? I've got that entrance right down to about 1 inch, and they're making use of every centimeter of that space. That's awesome. See, I talk in inches and centimeters. That's because I'm a Canadian. We don't know what to talk. So here's a little colony. This is a 2020 queen, and so she's not old, and it doesn't appear to me that there's anything wrong with her as far as disease goes. She is laying just a nice little pattern there, but look at her workforce. It's just kind of sad. So I'm going to take this colony and I'm going to do a boost with them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, put it over top newspaper and a queen excluder on a stronger colony, and that will help them gain a workforce. They'll get bees up in there to help tend the brood, keep it warm, feed it, etc. Because the principle is the bees, the queen can only lay as fast as the bees can tend to the brood, and they will regulate that automatically. They'll either cannibalize the brood or not feed it or somehow not let her lay or something like that. See, look at this patty that I'd put on, all but untouched. I'm going to leave that with them, though. They've got lots of feed here in the box. I found the queen, and I marked her. She wasn't marked, so I gave her a nice paint job. And I'll leave her out until I'm done this. So this colony here, it's not far away. It seems to be doing well. It's healthy, has vigor. I'm going to lay a newspaper, one layer, and a queen excluder. So my local grocery store newspaper flyer fits perfectly on these. It tends to blow away, so I'll put that hive tool there. My queen excluder is all bent up like a banana. That's okay. So set that there. I'll bring that other colony over. It's pretty heavy because they've got lots of feed. They haven't eaten very much. So get that nice and square on there. And they'll just sit there quiet for a while. Some people will cut slits in that newspaper. I didn't know I was supposed to do that, and I started doing it without splits. And it worked just fine. So I don't bother. Hey, I have to put the queen. I often forget that. Put the queen back in the hive. Okay, ready? Get down off of the door. There she goes down the hole. I'll put that patty kind of over the bird nest. And 10 days. I'll make a mark on that. I'll boost. 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 May 1. You could say that was March, but it sure heck wouldn't be March, would it? I thought this might be interesting. This is the quad mini mating nucs that I overwintered. Looks like there's some interest in that jar. What about this one? A little bit. So you may remember this one is a dead out. It didn't make it. I'll put these in here. So I don't know how much we can see here because they're doubles. And in order to see the bottom of the double, I need to take the whole thing apart. That might be a good idea anyway, because I doubt they're strong enough to need 2 levels anyway. But I really want to see if they're laying. See, she's laying. There's eggs there. There's the big fat queen right there. So she's not marked. So I want to go ahead and mark her. Right on the side of the frame here. All right. So that's 2020. And that is blue. Okay. All right, we'll let her sit there while we look through this little hive. So that had brood, so I'm going to take the end one out. And that has no brood. They're so small. Little patch of brood there. There's no brood there. Wow, she's not laying much. Unless she's laid the bottom. No. Wow. Not too impressive yet. Boy, oh boy, she's just barely got enough going on. I can see the bottom frames. There's really nothing going on there. There's a little cluster down here in the corner. I suspect she's just short on some resources. Just some resources as far as workforce to tend to her brood. She's laid a few eggs there. There's eggs and larvae on that side. Nothing too crazy. So I'd like to have individual minis on top so I can take one mini off and dig to the bottom. You know, she might do well to have, they might do well to be pushed into one box. They might do well with a little bit of patty. Put about a third of this patty in here. Put her back in the box. Trouble is, no gloves, your hands get all sticky. And she's out, and she's down the hole. Come on, go down the hole. There you go. That right there. They have lots of feed in the hive, so there's no concern there at all. They don't need a jar or anything like that. So it looks like they're doing well there. So there's a little more of a population in this one, it seems. We'll just check it out. Oh, give them a good jolt to begin with. That's always good. See, there's a lot better pattern here. The brood nest goes right to the edge. Lots of cap brood, and you know, I could equalize this, put some cap brood in the other one. I don't want to put too many foreign bees in there though. There's, even in this one at the bottom, it's full of bees. So they're really doing quite well. Eggs and larvae and cap brood here. Same here. Doing really nice. There's the queen. She's marked blue for 2020 here. So she's a superstar. Again, I'm looking down to the bottom, and they look really good down there too. She's laid right to the outside. There's brood on the outside of the outside frame. I'm gonna leave them alone. We'll check that last one. I have to stand for that, I can't reach it. Well, they've glued that down, so what does that mean? Looks like they're maybe strong, and they are. They look pretty good. Find a frame I can pry out. There's eggs there. Eggs and larvae there. Outside frame. There's capped feed, open feed. The bottom box is teeming with bees as well. Both sides a nice pattern of cap brood. Nice pattern of cap brood here. Eggs. Again, cap brood, young larvae. I have not seen the queen in this one this spring. Oops. But there's something in here laying eggs. Okay, that's looking really good. The bottom looks really good too from here. Scrape this side. So that queen is elusive. I've yet to see her. I didn't even see her this time. Okay, that was the second frame I took out. There's eggs in there. Larva. Looking really nice. Really nice little colony. Definitely we're going to be watching these so they don't get too big for their britches. They start to get ideas. Okay. So I'm going to mark a B on here since I saw brood today. And we're going to leave them alone. Okay, you go away, you go away, you go away, away. And we'll put that lid right on there. We don't need pails, jars, and things anymore. So that's what we're looking at on the 1st of May, 2021. Some are looking pretty good. Some are looking okay. And the ones that were sort of struggling and failing, I think have turned the corner. And, you know, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged with what I see this year. So thanks for watching and have fun.